Hello and welcome to how to pull QuickBooks exports into Excel with Power Query. My name's Jeff, I'm glad you're here. Let's just jump right in. In this short video, I'm going to demonstrate how to log into QuickBooks, how to download a report to an Excel format, and then how to use Power Query to clean up that data and get it into an Excel table. Okay, so once we're in QuickBooks, we can simply go to Reports. We can pick whatever report we're after. In this case, it's a P&L, and we want monthly columns, so we select Months. And then we need to make sure that this ends on the last day of a month. So I'm going to go with April 30. I'm going to run the report. Now I see we have this report broken into monthly columns. That's exactly what we want. So we export to Excel. Now, once it's open in Excel, what we see is a bunch of zeros, and we also see this yellow protected view dialog. What we need to do is enable editing. Now we can see all of these values, so we need to hit save. And now what we'll do is use Power Query to format these and pull them into an Excel table. So from a different workbook, I'm going to go with Data, Get Data, From File, From Excel Workbook. Then I simply browse to the downloaded Excel report and I double click. Now I select the sheet that I want, which is called Profit and Loss, and I click Transform Data. Now, in the Power Query editor, we're going to define several transformations that's going to clean up this data and put it in the format that we're after. So the first thing we'll do is remove some rows at the top. So I click Remove Rows, Remove Top Rows, and I'm going to remove the top 3 rows. If we wanted to, we could also remove some rows from the bottom. So in this case, I'm going to go with Remove Bottom Rows 4 and Enter. All right, now I need to get these month labels to be used as the column headers. To do that, we go to Transform, Use First Row as Headers. All right, the next thing we want to do is remove the total column. So I'm simply going to select that column and hit the Delete key on my keyboard. All right. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select the account column, I'm going to right click, and then I'm going to select Unpivot Other Columns. And by selecting Unpivot Other Columns, what it means is that, hey, if there's another column next month like May or June or July, go ahead and unpivot all of them. And this is a way to sort of future-proof the query so that it continues working even when there's more columns. Now I can go ahead and relabel some of these columns. I'm going to double click and I'll call this account. I'll double click, I'll call this month. I'll double click, I'll call this amount. If I wanted to, I could remove this indent or these leading spaces. So I'm just going to right click, transform, trim. And if I want, I can convert this month column from text labels to actual dates. And now this data is looking pretty good, so I'm going to go to Home, Close and Load To. I'm going to select a table in an existing worksheet and click OK. Now this data is in a table, it's nice and clean, and that means I can use this for pivot tables, I can use this for formula reports, I can use this with lookup functions or SUMIFS functions, and otherwise summarize the data. Now what happens next period? Well, let's find out. I'm going to go back to QuickBooks. And I'm going to export this through May 31 and click Run Report. Now we have January through May columns. That looks good, so I'm going to once again export to Excel. Now, our query is pointing to a specific folder path and a specific file name. So if I want to be able to just click refresh, what I need to do is replace the old version of that file with this new file. And I need to keep it in the same folder path and I need to use the same file name. If I don't, I can always go and edit the query and modify the source step to browse to the new location. But in practice, I found it much faster to simply make sure that I save the file with the same file name in the same folder. And once I've done that, I can click refresh. And what we're going to see is we get a bunch of zeros. And why is that? That's because the data is protected. So the reason I show that is a reminder that we need to actually open up the Excel file and enable it. And once we've enabled it, now we can go to Data and Refresh All. And now it works. So if you're downloading QuickBooks reports into Excel and you want a fast way to clean it up every period, you can use this technique which uses Power Query. As long as you save the replacement file to the same folder path and same file name, and then you open it and then you enable it, then all you need to do is go to Data and Refresh All, and now you'll have the data in a format that's really easy to use in Excel, and we can use these in things like pivot tables and formula-based reports. Hey, hopefully this helps. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day. Hey Excel user, if you ever need to create summary reports, check out my Pivot Table for Beginners video. It starts at the beginning and shows how to store the data transactions in a table and then how to summarize those transactions with a pivot table report. I hope it helps unlock the incredible power of pivot tables.
This video is a production of Excel University.